Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game Mess. So, today got a fun and exciting video for you guys today because we're taking a look at an active Sonic R decompilation and port over to the Dreamcast that's currently running on actual PCs. This is because JNMartin, the same developer that ported over Star Fox 64 as well as Super Mario 64, has been working on a Sonic R decomp that is showing a lot of promise. And even though this game is not the best game ever made, I think when it's actually ported over to Dreamcast and other platforms, it could end up being much better because somebody could go in and finally mod what is got to be one of the weirdest control schemes ever put to a Sonic game, a racing game, or just a video game in general. But because Big Decomp Energy is the name of the game on the channel lately, you know I definitely want to talk about this one. Before we get too far involved though, do me a huge favor down below, hit like and subscribe and hit that notification bell, definitely helps us out. And if you feel so inclined and want to support the channel, got a Patreon link down below as well. But right now we are watching Sonic R footage on Sega Saturn via the Amir emulator, and when we go over to the recomp, or more specifically the decomp and PC port footage, I will let you know as well. It's just one of those things. Sonic R always had a good game underneath it, and as far as graphics on the Sega Saturn in 3D, maybe one of the prettiest looking games. It just so happens that basically every single character here controls like they've had about half a bottle of Everclear and then just decided to grip it and rip it. So right now you are watching footage of this PC port, or more specifically a Mac port, because JNMartin decompiled the actual Saturn version of Sonic R and then worked on porting it over to an actual operating system. And obviously because that developer is more specifically known for making Dreamcast ports, that would definitely be the end intention. And it's one of those things, decompiling Sega Saturn games, not easy whatsoever based upon the hardware and the code base. It definitely is hard mode, so it is so much fun to see something like this actually working. Now moving over to another capture right here, back to Saturn. Just imagine this thing on Dreamcast running at 60 frames per second with a higher internal running resolution and better controls. Now, I'm not saying better controls are guaranteed, but I would highly imagine someone's going to go in with that port and take care of it, because even with the drifting mechanic here, you basically just get stuck in so many corners and have so many issues actually controlling this game. It really was a technical showcase to what Sonic could be in 3D on Sega Saturn, but it was also a technical showcase of what not to do with controls, and honestly, some of the physics get absolutely crazy in this game. But there is a lot of charm when it comes to Sonic R, and I really do think it could be made to be a good game on Dreamcast. You'll see there I got second place, getting first place in this game. You definitely have to take none of the quote-unquote shortcuts, because most of them actually lose you time. Now moving over to Falco's Twitter here, I will leave a link in the description below as well. He's talking about JNMartin's work, because JNMartin did have some social media accounts, but they have since been shut down. I think just because people were bothering him about the overall process of actually doing this. Because trust me, sometimes actually talking to people online can be a little bit challenging, if you know what I mean. Not you guys, though, you're all great. Now moving over to another direct capture from this actual PC port again. The intention is always for this to come down to the Dreamcast, and who wouldn't want a new 3D game on the Dreamcast in and of itself? And that really is exciting because there's so much stuff going on right now. So many N64 decomps, recomps, and PC ports. Basically every single one of those N64 PC ports that has source code available ends up on Dreamcast. Because don't forget, we have two different things going on the N64 front. We have static recomps where you don't really get the entire source code base to be able to port to Dreamcast, and you have the decompilation based PC port, so you can take that source code and then bring it over to the Dreamcast, as we've seen with stuff like Super Mario 64 as well as Star Fox 64, and that definitely is fun because I love the Dreamcast, and why not have basically every single N64 game possible on that hardware? But leave me a comment down below and you tell me if you could snap your fingers and make one game on the N64 appear on Dreamcast as an enhanced version of the game, which one would it be? And because F-Zero X is very close to being 100% decompiled along with F-Zero DD, the N64 DD expansion, I feel like that's something that'll end up on Dreamcast at some point in time as well. And I'd love to be able to play F-Zero X on my Dreamcast with my VGA monitor getting clean 31 kHz out. I just think it would be a vibe. Let's go over to a soundtrack sample of Sonic R, just because the music absolutely gets stuck in my head, so you should have to suffer the same fate that I do today. So go ahead and listen for like 45 seconds or so, but come back. I got a lot more Sonic R PC port news to talk about, because it's going to be a fun time when it is out.
Ready, set, go!
Makes me feel so free, so alive.
I mean, honestly, I'm not sure what sort of music you would use for a Sonic-based racing game, but it definitely works and definitely gets stuck in your head. And as I was talking about the Star Fox 64 Dreamcast port, I figured I would show some footage as well, just to kind of mix this video up, because if you missed it, there's a Star Fox 64 port on Dreamcast, as well as a Super Mario 64 port, and more stuff coming soon. And basically every single N64 decomp can be ported over to the Dreamcast, because obviously you have more powerful hardware, but just because you have more powerful hardware doesn't make it an easy thing. You have to transpose all of the different actual code for the source code, because you're running on completely different instruction sets and CPU hardware. And of course you have to transpose every single call to the video and audio hardware as well, because Dreamcast and N64 basically have nothing in common whatsoever outside of the fact that both actually play video games. And that really is what is hard about these things. When you're porting from one platform to another, going from N64 with a MIPS CPU and that SGI based hardware, and then moving over to Dreamcast with a Hitachi SH4 and the Power VR hardware, basically have absolutely nothing in common. So the fact that something like Star Fox 64 can look this good on Dreamcast and run this well, it definitely is a testament to how good the coding is, because just because you have more power doesn't mean it's always going to run better than the actual source hardware. And moving back over to the Sonic R PC port right now, I am sure this will run at a higher frame rate, because it's already running here better than it would on Sega Saturn. But Traveler's Tales did an amazing job, because honestly the performance, both in the visual department as well as in the frame rate department, on the Sega Saturn was one of the best looking games the Saturn ever had, in my opinion. It just really is unfortunate as far as historical context is concerned about how janky this game could actually control. I don't know what was going on. It really felt like it was a great idea on paper, but they just couldn't get the overall technique of making the game fun as far as the playability is concerned. I always love using it as a technical demonstration, because it really does speak to what the Saturn could do 3D wise in talented hands when it came to coding and art style, but it's also a masterclass in just because the game looks pretty doesn't mean you're going to have fun with it. But that again is all the stuff that could be actually fixed up when you have a port and you have a decompilation of the source code, because you could go in there, you could tweak the analog values of the controls, you could change the game code up to basically make the characters control however you wanted, because the source code allows you to go in and make those tweaks. And if there's ever been a game that needs better controls, in my opinion, it would be Sonic R. But you tell me, did you play this one back in the day, and have you played it recently, and have you ever actually got used to the controls? It's just one of those things, no matter how much time I spend with it, I always basically bounce off every single wall and then get second place, or maybe even worse. It's one of those things, I don't even know if a clean race in this game is possible. I have to look up some speedruns, because I'm sure some dedicated masochist out there has spent time learning every single thing and becoming the best in the world at a game that's extremely pretty, but maybe not one you want to spend all that much time with. But I'm sure in the future, when this thing actually is on Dreamcast and maybe PC as well, we'll just have to wait and see. You will have a better control situation going on, and it'll make the game that much more fun, because there definitely is a good game in Sonic R. You just have to fight sometimes to actually be able to see it and enjoy it. Every once in a while, you'll kind of click with the game and you'll end up controlling it well, and then suddenly on the next race, you'll absolutely fall apart and bounce into every wall and get stuck on every single bit of geometry. Let's do one more soundtrack just so it's stuck in your head as well, and I'll be right back with more. So the next question is, when are people going to start decompiling Dreamcast games and porting them over to PC? Because there's so many amazing candidates I would love to see get PC ports, and if I had to pick one, just because I want to learn it better in a more modern environment for our F355 challenge, I would love to see that thing get 100% decompiled and then ported to PC. That way I could use my wheel and pedal set and kind of dial in the analog adjustments on my PC versus trying to deal with it on Dreamcast or Naomi. But you can leave me a comment down below and you tell me, if you could take one Dreamcast game and port it to PC like we've seen with all the other decomp to PC ports, which one would it be? Because you guys always have some very interesting answers for me. But short of that, a Sonic R decomp is in progress. It's going to be ported over to the Dreamcast, and we're all going to be winners for that. See you next time. Bye bye.